Think outside of the box. Whatever happened to the dreamers, to the artists, to the humor in life? Our society has become so focused on pre-laden paths that thinking outside the box is a practice left for dreary business meetings with agendas that don't help people or enrich lives. Time slots are created for us to be creative, for us to dream, for us to just think. Somewhere between grade school and turning 30, many people lose their ability to dream, to think outside of the box. In our pursuit of the American dream, where we go to school so that we can get that good job, so that we can buy that pretty little house in the suburbs and fill it with 2.5 kids, a dog, a cat, and more crap than we know what to do with, we lose sight of what it is that we're doing in life. We lose sight of the humor, the creativity, and the imagination. So much of our lives is spent pursuing what we think is important, what we think others want us to be, that we lose sight of the journey itself. We lose sight of life.
What happens from point A to B, a winding path where what we do, see, feel, and experience are the things that matter. Think of creativity, imagination, or humor like you would a muscle. If you stop using it, it'll stop working. The social constructs that our culture creates cause people to forget to slow down, forget to take the time to daydream. We are creatures of habit and choose routine over innovation. The box is something created by ourselves, through the choice to separate adult rigidity from innovative roots of childhood. Humor, imagination, and creativity are simply parts of who we are. They're there in the background, acting up in their own way. When we ignore these parts of ourselves, they seem to die off. But even for the most institutionalized of human beings, these parts are still there, undead vestiges of childhood. Some people choose to run from these ghosts of the past, frightened of who he or she could have been, or possibly by whom they have become. Some people find a safe place to hide while those uncomfortable and childish parts of ourselves stay in their own box for safekeeping. It is only when childhood is embraced that human potential can be expanded. But what of humor? It is perhaps the strongest proponent of creativity and imagination, but even the most open-minded amongst us only use humor when it's not important. In our society, inclusion of humor within something means that we should not view that thing as having substance. Don't believe me? The next time you're at a museum, listen for laughter. Part of the problem is that artists who seek to open their creativity and imaginations are notorious for filtering the humor from their work. How often have you seen a Rockwell hung near a Rembrandt? We artists take ourselves way too seriously. For that matter, everyone does.
If there's someone out there that thinks that they're not afraid of humor, I have one thing to ask of you. Bark like a dog. I'm waiting. For those of you that didn't just let out your best Lassie impersonation, lighten up. Stop acting like you've got it all under control and you're so cool. Stop worrying so much about what the cute girl in the classroom next to you thinks. If she doesn't think funny's being cool, she's probably a Kardashian. Hey, stop worrying about what the cute guy next to you is thinking. If he didn't think you're beautiful because you're being silly, forget about it. He's a tool. He's going to look back on his life when he's 60 and think about all the beers he's pounded down and golf games he's had as the highlights of his life. Just because laughter feels good and being silly is fun and having fun is, well, fun, that doesn't mean that there's no substance. Tragedy is easy. It's comedy that's hard. In this life of survival, tragedy is all too apparent, but it's humor that we block out because it's harder to see. It is humor that gives us our humanity, that separates us from the circumstances of life and allows us to truly create, shape, and change the world that we live in. So what can you do? Where can you go? Who can you reach to solve this rigidity in our society? How can you change the method of thinking outside the box if it's not having the box there in the first place? Who needs to see that our natural tendency of placing the parts of a whole into neat boxes that hinder our human spirit has to change? Where does it all start?
It all starts here. The parents, the teachers, the authority figures in the lives of children are what set the precedents for our lives, for our society. Art is a tool, a savior of the natural and human habit of daydreaming. Art is a way to preserve ourselves and fight against a stringent and oppressive reality. A reality that we have the choice to change through imagination, creativity, and humor.